Now, police are expected to update the Krugersdorp community on results of investigations in the area and address current issues. Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola is hosting an Imbizo today, and this is it as the community still reels from the gang rape of 8 women allegedly by illegal immigrants. We've got ENCA's Pule Lechuti-Jones covering that story. Pule, just give us a sense, a very good morning to you, by the way, but give us a sense of some of the pertinent issues that the National Commissioner is set to touch on as he addresses community members at this Imbizo.
Yeah, I think the Minister has a litany of challenges that he has to discuss when coming here this morning. And you are correct to say the community is still reeling from that horrible incident that saw 8 young women being allegedly gang raped by some of these, what people have been calling Zama, and of course these illegal minors. And that matter still before court, and we do understand that authorities are waiting for some of those DNA results to see if they can't link that as evidence to apprehend some of those who have been arrested as well. But at the very same time here, I'm just going to move out of shop so you can see some of the community members who are beginning to flock in and make their way to be addressed by, of course, the National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola. So just to get back to your question, we do know that some of the things that were addressed include, illicit mining and, of course, crimes generated by illegal operations. And there has to be some sort of way during this Imbizo and discussion as to how police enforcement can work hand in hand with some of the community members and see if they can try and put a stop to some of these heinous criminal activities happening here, and of course those that are also hurting the mining industry.
So that's, of course, one of the most important things that are going to be dealt with. But another issue, Pule, when it comes to issues of crime in the area is the complaint that there is a lack of boots on the ground. The police visibility does not exist there. I mean, obviously one would think that there would be resources that are plowed into that particular aspect so that people can feel safe. I mean, during the week we reported on the fact that some people can't even walk out to their nearest grocery store to buy a loaf of bread, even during the day, in fear of being violated in some or other way.
Yeah, definitely. Police need more manpower on the ground to see how they can try and, of course, put a stop to some of these criminal activities in this area. But let's look at a vast perspective of this. Crime is a very serious issue in this country, and means that going back to a drawing board, police may have to now find solutions as to how they can work in hand with community members to add those numbers to ensure that they can start arresting people. I mean, you would have seen that tweet by the Minister of Energy, Mantashe, as well, who was saying that police need to prioritize having a special unit which may be looking into some of these criminal activities happening in this area as well. But also there has to be much more police presence in this area to ensure that crime is being dealt with. As you can see on your shot as well, we're now seeing the likes of K9 units that are actually being deployed into this area. One may believe that they may be here for a while right now to see what is going on, to see how they can work hand in hand with the community in terms of apprehending some of these criminals who are alleged to be behind these bad criminal activities in this area.
Yeah, no, definitely, Pule. And of course, I'm sure in your being in that community in Krugersdorp, you've had an opportunity to talk to some of the community members. I mean, you mentioned in your initial answer some of the big themes that will be touched on by the National Commissioner. But speaking to the people and experiencing their everyday lives, what are their biggest frustrations at the moment?
Well, I think some of the biggest frustrations that they've been experiencing, I've been tracking the story as well from far, seeing what residents are saying is that they would report some of these criminal activities taking place in the area, but often the response time by police officials is quite, it's something which is a challenge because police officials are delayed and sometimes they don't even come. And those are some of the allegations that are made by the community members. And one may also want to believe that today we'll see that a robust discussion and engagement taking place between community members and police officials. The National Commissioner may have to dot down a few concerns that will be raised by community members, and hopefully there will be a plan and and a long-term strategy to see how they can work to trying to curb crime in this area, but most importantly, working hand in hand with some of the impatient, frustrated community members who have been, angered and of course complaining about the crime that's taking place in their area.
And I suppose after these discussions, one must note that it's not just a robust debate and discussion that's going to happen between the police and the community there in Krugersdorp. There's going to be a need for immediate action, Bule.
Yeah, definitely. They have to come up with long-term plans here, and as to how they can also, have a special unit looking into this, illegal mining industry as well, but not also neglecting the general criminal activities taking place in this area. So it's quite, a huge task for the police that they have to look into in terms of ensuring that they can meet the community members halfway. And like I said earlier, crime has become a very serious issue in this area. So police will not be only focusing here in Krugersdorp or Kagiso or any other area, but they now have to look vastly as to how they can put an end to this illegal mining happening in other areas as well, such as the Northwest as well. It's a huge task for them, but hopefully one also think that they're coming into this engagement, this Imbizo, knowing what are some of the concerns residents may raise, and perhaps maybe also tabling some solutions to their problems.
Thank you very much. That is Pulela Treaty-Jones. We'll catch up with you within the hour. Perhaps the police commissioner, the National Police Commissioner, would have made his way there and engage our community members, and we get a better sense of the message he's trying to communicate to the people of Krugersdorp.